Hey guys, it's Tabitha and welcome back to Tabithings. Today I am telling a story that is probably one of the most scariest things that's ever happened to me. Now I look back on it and laugh because of just how incredulous it was and how much I overreacted, because if you can tell by the title, I clearly overreacted. Anyways, on to the story. So this happened in late 2023. I was living with my friend Alex at the time, that's what we're gonna call him, in his apartment. And his cousin, we'll just call him Randall, came over. And Randall is a druggie, okay? Randall does like weed. I think he does like coke. I'm not sure. I know he does weed. And I was like, you know what? The last experience I had didn't go well, but it ended up pretty fine. I only panicked for 5 minutes. What could possibly go wrong? I'm doing much better mentally. I'm fine. I'll be fine. So he goes outside after rolling a blunt, and I smoked it with him. I took 7 or 8 hits of this blunt, and I was fine. It takes like 4 to 5 minutes for weed to hit me when I'm smoking it, like from a blunt. Vapes hit quicker. And so I went back inside. I sat down, started talking to Alex, and eventually Randall finished the blunt and came back inside, and I was already starting to feel it. So when I get high from smoking straight up cannabis, I start to feel Alex looks over at me and he's like, yo, are you okay? You good? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just, enjoying the high. I'm chilling. He's like, okay. And he believed me, it sounded like. And time kept passing, and, discomfort went into nervousness, and nervousness went into anxiety. Now, before the panic hit, Alex asked me again. He's like, yo, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm just feeling a little like meh, but like, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm rolling with it. He's like, okay. Now, Randall started noticing that it was happening again. I haven't told the first time this happened, but I will probably tomorrow. I won't have time tomorrow. I'm going to the movies with my friends. We're going to see FNAF 2. Anyway, all that aside, Randall started like talking to me, like directly to me, trying to like get me to focus on him, trying to distract me from what he knew was coming. And it wasn't working. And so I was rocking back and forth at this point. The panic was starting to hit me really hard. And it was bearable at first, but like the more like the panic just kept staying, I couldn't take it anymore. First time this happened, I only panicked for 5 minutes. This was lasting way longer than that. The panic came on slowly. The first time it didn't, but like I just like I couldn't take it anymore. And I asked Alex, I was like, hey, can I get some water? He was like, sure. So he got me some water. I chugged that shit. It was refrigerated. My throat was cold. It felt like someone just froze it. Anyway, And he asked me again, he was like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. The panic is coming on. I'm freaking out. Like, I know I'm going to be okay. I know that, but I still feel like I'm going to die. Like, I'm going to die. I'm going to have a heart attack. My heart's going to explode, blah, blah, blah. Cause like, it felt like my heart was racing at probably like 200 beats per minute. That's an exaggeration. It felt like it was probably beating around like 130, 140. It might have been, but I really don't think it was. I think it was beating at more like 100, 110, which isn't too bad. It isn't too bad. But, I was feeling like, it's like da-dun, da-dun. I was feeling both of those as if it was like a duh, right? Out, in, out, in. I was feeling the out ins as if they were all out. So I thought it was racing twice as fast as it actually was, which just made it worse. It made it worse. And, I don't like my heart racing, apparently, because it makes me panic. And like the panic was coming on, and then just like the feeling of my heart, like beating so fast that I thought I was going to actually have a heart attack, that just made it 10 times worse. And when I panic like that on weed, I think I'm actually going to die. I know, like deep down in my head, I'm not going to die. Weed can't kill you. I could have been much higher and probably just greened out and been fine, right? But it's still there. And that fear that you're going to die is just so palpable, and it is terrifying. Imagine like the worst panic attack you've ever had of your life, minus drugs, like 10-fold, 20-fold. Imagine, like, you can't, and you won't know what that feels like unless you're actually in a situation where you feel it. So I ended up like trying to focus on what Russell and Alex were saying, and I just couldn't. They were trying to keep me calm. They were trying to distract me, and it just was not working. And so my mouth was already like extremely dry. I also really, really hate dry mouth. Like, it was so dry, I couldn't talk, and my jaw felt tight. I felt like I was getting a little bit of lockjaw. And I also hate that because like I was so tense that my jaw was locking up. Like, I was just extremely tense. Like, my muscles ached after this entire thing because of how tense my body was, and all the twitching and panic, that makes you sore. Me at least, I don't know. Maybe I'm just extremely sensitive to pain, which is why I haven't gotten a tattoo, but I'm thinking about it. Anyway, all that aside, I eventually got up and I started pacing. And pacing actually does help. And I was just not believing that it was helping, even though it actually was. It was helping me calm down a little bit. And it was actually helping. And I was just so panicky and just terrified that I was not acknowledging the fact that it was helping. And I ended up like not being able to take it anymore. At this point, it had been like an hour and a half, I think. And I told Alex, call an ambulance, call an ambulance, call an ambulance. He's like, you don't need an ambulance, you're fine. I'm like, I don't care. And eventually we just argued back and forth. And he ended up calling me an ambulance. And at this point, I was somewhat starting to come down. I wasn't feeling as panicky as before, but I was still panicking pretty hard. And eventually the ambulance came. I think someone had to help me walk down the stairs because I was shaking so bad. I was twitching so bad. I was panicking so bad. I would have fallen down the stairs. Anyway, I eventually got on the stretcher, and at this point, the panic had died down a lot. I was just more like anxious and panicking a little bit at this point, just like a normal panic attack level, which is still pretty bad for me. Like, normal panic is still pretty bad. And I have a panic disorder. I have an anxiety disorder. So, it's already pretty bad. So, but it was a lot more bearable, and it didn't feel as bad as before, obviously, because it was like normal mode now. It wasn't extreme intense mode. And I was taken to the hospital, the ER. And I know, you don't have to tell me. I know I wasted all of these doctors and nurses' time. I know that, and I feel really bad. And I told them that too. I apologized. I was like, I'm so sorry for wasting all this time. They're like, no, it's okay. We get this all the time. Don't feel bad, but you're not gonna die. And I'm like, I know that. And I was crying at this point. I was like, I know that, but like, I'm still scared. And they're like, we know, it's okay. Your vitals are okay. Your heart is racing a little bit, but that's just the weed. You're okay. Your blood pressure's fine. It's not like dangerous levels. I'm pretty sure my blood pressure had been spiked. I think it was spiking, but not like too much, not dangerously, right? And so I was taken to the ER, put on a bed. I've never had an IV drip in my life, like ever. They didn't even put me on any fluids to keep me hydrated. But yeah, I was in the ER for a while talking to the doctor, and he was like, well, I can give you a Xanax to help calm you down. And I was like, no. I was like, no. And he's like, you don't want a Xanax? I'm like, no. Because I've heard, I don't know shit about Xanax, okay? I've heard so many people like take Xanax recreationally, and I was like, I don't want that. Because like, I was terrified I was gonna get addicted to Xanax. So I was like, no. He's like, and I was like, is there anything else you can give me that's not Xanax? And I think he understood what I meant, and he probably thought I just didn't understand Xanax. And he's like, I can give you Benadryl. And I was like, okay. So I was calming down a lot. I was just more anxious at this point. I wasn't panicking anymore, and because I was coming down from the high, right? And I was still twitching. I was still shaking. My head didn't feel hot anymore. My heart did. You know, my heart was beating fast again, like still beating fast, but it wasn't beating as fast as it was before. And my mouth was still really dry. So I was eventually given the Benadryl, drank some water, and I was sitting there waiting for the doctor to discharge me, like bring out my discharge papers. And eventually I had to pee. Like, I had to pee really bad. And I was trying to be like civil and not cause a scene, because like I was panicking again. I felt like held down and trapped, even though I wasn't. I could have ripped everything off and been like, you know, I wasn't trapped. I wasn't being held hostage. But my brain at that moment was just not, it was thinking so irrationally. I was so fucking paranoid that I'm gonna be sent to a psych ward. I'm being held hostage. I'm restrained to the bed. And I wasn't. And I knew I wasn't. But like all the stuff on me just made me feel like I was like being held down onto the bed. And so I eventually, like, I couldn't take it anymore. The blood pressure cuff went off twice, so that was probably about 30 minutes, because I think it goes off every 15 minutes. And I couldn't take it anymore, and the blood pressure was going, and I was like, no, fuck no, I can't do this anymore. I tried, I can't. So I ripped it off, and then, like, they had, like, this, you know, that, like, I think oxygen level monitor or pulse monitor thingy on your finger, and it was taped on. So I ripped it off, okay? I ripped the tape off and whatever. I didn't break the thing. I was careful not to, because I didn't want to be, I didn't want to have to pay damages or anything. But yeah, so I ripped it off, and I think I had a couple other like cords laying over me or something, but eventually I managed to like slide off the bed and like find the bathroom. I don't know how, but I did manage to find the bathroom and, you know, take care of business. And by the time I came back in the room, I think the doctor was coming in as well, and he gave me the discharge papers. I don't remember how I got home back to Alex's place. I don't remember. I think I just was so mentally exhausted. I'm assuming I Ubered somehow. Like, I got an Uber, someone else got an Uber for me. I don't know. My dad wasn't in my life at this point, so he didn't, he didn't know. I mean, he knew I existed. Anyway, so he wasn't able to help me. And I don't remember how I got back, but I don't remember anything else that happened that night. I just have this memory of all of this, and that's the last time I ever smoked cannabis, just straight up. Because the smell of weed, it triggers me and it makes me panic. Like, I get that panicky twist in my stomach, and my heart jumps in my chest and starts to race a little bit, like it beats a little bit faster. And I just cannot smell weed. I don't know where that weed was from. It wasn't the quote unquote good California shit, like the first time, which I'm gonna tell another day. Because according to Randall, that weed I had, which I smoked an entire blunt of, mind you, was quote unquote the good California shit. This one, he said it wasn't the good California shit, so I'd be fine. I smoked 7 or 8 hits of it. I didn't smoke the whole thing. I know now if I took like 1 or 2 hits, I would have been fine. Because I've taken like 1 hit of a blunt before and just felt a little high and been fine. Like, I was just all giggly and like feeling just awake and aware, alert, just there, floaty. Little heat bubble around my head. My heart was beating a little bit faster than normal, but not much. I was twitchy, just normal. Okay. And ever since then, the only thing I hit is my Skittles vape, which is a CBT vape, cannabis-derived terpenes. I'm pretty sure it has like mild THC in it and some CBD, and it's really good. It actually helps with anxiety, helps keep me calm. I've only panicked on that twice, and I'll probably tell both of those stories in another video another day. Now, before y'all go and think, oh my God, this girl does an assload of drugs and she panics and blah, blah, blah. I don't. Weed is the only drug I've ever done. People have asked me if I wanted to do shrooms. I said no. Someone offered me acid. I said no. Someone, when I was homeless, offered me ice, okay? He offered me ice. I thought he meant ice, like not meth, okay? I didn't know that ice was crystal meth, okay? Thank you. And for some reason, I've wanted to smoke salvia, but like, I know that like, I'd only be like high for like 5 to 20 minutes, but like, I know it's gonna feel a lot longer than that. And most trips that people have on salvia are bad and terrifying and traumatic. So I'm not gonna do that. The only thing I've ever done and ever will do is weed. I won't even do shrooms, because like, I heard shrooms are more likely to make you panic than weed is. So I'm not gonna do shrooms. Not gonna do acid, not gonna do salvia, DMT, any of that shit, okay? Meth and cocaine, huge no-nos. I would never, ever subject myself to that shit. Heroin, why do y'all do that? I get it. I've heard the stories, but like, don't. Anyway, don't be stupid. That's all I gotta say. You're not gonna die. Weed is not gonna kill you. And I know everyone knows that, but like in that moment, I really thought I was gonna die, even though I knew I wouldn't. It's hard to explain. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I hope you guys got some laughs out of it, because like now I laugh at just how ridiculous I was. Because like I'd panicked before and I was fine. I just was scared because it was lasting longer. And like I knew in my head that like people do harder things and that's more likely to kill them, right? But they're fine. Like I know like people's heart races like 200 beats per minute for certain things, and I know that now, but like at the time, oh my God. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope y'all have an amazing day or night wherever you are, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.